All right, today I'm going to discuss statute of limitations for personal injury cases. So, what's a statute of limitation? Statute of limitation is the deadline in which you must file your action, or you must file your complaint. So, in California, the statute of limitations, typically speaking, for personal injury actions is 2 years from the date of the injury. Obviously, there are exceptions to this. For example, if you're an infant, if you're a minor, then it could be extended to certain situations. If your claim is against a governmental agency, a governmental entity, then you fall under certain categories where you have to do what's called exhausting your administrative remedies. You got to file a claim with that governmental agency. There's certain proper things that you need to do. It's best to consult with an attorney if you have a claim against a governmental agency. Very, very important to do the claims process right. So essentially speaking, you need to file in the typical personal injury action, car accident, someone who's not driving for the government. You got to file your case within 2 years. So for people 18 and over. So let's say you don't file your case within 2 years. Let's say you file it 2 years and 2 days. What happens then? So your case can be dismissed. The defense can file what's called a demurrer or a motion for summary judgment down the line, or even at trial, you could end up losing the trial based on the statute of limitations defense. It's a big problem. That's why it's extremely, extremely important to file your case within the applicable statute of limitations. For medical malpractice, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more convoluted. Generally speaking, it's 1 year from the date of the injury, but there's exceptions to this as well. And if you have a medical malpractice action, it's best to file your case. You also have to do a proper claim, which is called a notice of intent to sue, and give the healthcare provider 90 days notice prior to filing your action. It's very, very important to do the claims process properly, and to not just to wing it. If you have a medical malpractice case, it's really best to consult with someone so that you don't do the claims process incorrectly. You don't blow a certain statute of limitation, thus barring your claim. Very important to do it correctly. Statute of limitations is very important. Let's say you get into a car accident and you don't start feeling the effects for 10 years. That could be a very tricky situation. Best thing to do is to file your car accident within the 2-year time limit. If you're feeling effects from it 10 years down the line, then it may be too late to file your car accident case. I probably don't know a single attorney that would take that case. So it's very important to file within your applicable statute of limitations. If you're a minor, if you have a claim against a governmental entity, if you if you have a medical malpractice case or other types of cases aside from personal injury, property damage is different as well. Then you really need to consult with someone to see what your applicable statute of limitations is, act within that applicable statute of limitations. It's very difficult to give a proper analysis as to certain types of actions, certainly medical malpractice. Those can be very, very convoluted. And those are typically, a lot of the times, are subject to big fights when the actual injury occurred, when the actual statute of limitations is. And so it's best to go with someone who's experienced in regard to these more difficult cases so that they could properly handle your case. If you guys have any questions about statute of limitations, please feel free to leave a comment, and I look forward to hearing from you all.